What's up, boys and girls? We are here. The Best Church logo is taking the final lap here, guys. Trace, are you happy to be here? Is this the best day of your life, including your marriage? Air horn mouth sounds.
I was just waiting for it, dude. I'm very,
when's
very
Josh
excited.
gonna stop talking and let me do this? I love it, dude. No. I'm pumped. I did want to start everything with a huge thank you, both to you and to the audience. Or audience is a weird word, but all the people that aren't on camera that made this thing possible, submitting logos, voting all these rounds of times, putting up with me blathering about this on Instagram for like 3 months. It's happening. It's real. And guys, before we jump in, I know I teased it a little bit on Instagram, but we have a special guest. Trace, are you ready to meet our special guest tonight? It's like college game day when they invite the musician to come in, even though we're all designers here. We've got Uncle D, Dustin Cooper.
What's up,
everybody? Joining us.
Specials is an interesting word to use, but thank you for having me.
I love it. No, Dustin, for those of you that don't know, very accomplished designer. He's been in the church design space for a long time, and was gracious enough to actually take some of my phone calls when I was first thinking about starting Bright Coal. So yeah, really, this is just me inviting all my buddies to hang out with me for a few minutes and talk about some logos. We got
Love it.
Yeah, let's go.
All right, so guys, let's go ahead and jump on in. Nope.
We're going to get to look through the top 10, right?
Yep, that's it. So all the voting has happened at this point. All the nominations are complete. All the live judging is complete. Both rounds of audience voting are complete. This is really just kind of walking through okay, how did it all go down? So by the numbers, we had originally 48 logos nominated. And then my mind was blown when I did the math. We had 11,000 first round audience votes. When we threw everything up on Instagram and kind of had that yes, no voting, I guess we got picked up by the algorithm gods or whatever, but it just kicked on up. Then Trace and I went through a lot of videos and walked through every single logo. You guys can check those out on YouTube if you want to. I mean, you're going to kind of, spoiler alert, we're here at the finale. But we talked through our rationale. So if your thing got a good score or a bad score, you want to know why, you can go back and see. So we took all that and the scores that were evaluated between these two pieces, then determined okay, where did everybody stack up? We took the logos with the 10 logos with the highest total scores, went on to the final round. Then judges are hands off, and it's all audience voting for the last lap. People voted for about 2 or 3 weeks on bestchurchlogo.com. and did a single round of Instagram voting to determine the order of the finalists and winner.
I'm amazed by the numbers. You've amazed me already by the numbers. It's been really cool to see everybody be able to interact and have their own thoughts about the logos and about the judging. And I encourage you that if you did vote, go through and at least thumb through one of the videos and kind of see if you see one of the ones that you get to vote on and kind of how we scored it.
Absolutely. And that was something that was important to me from the get-go. Is I didn't want this to be and I've seen other ones of these, and that's no slam on these, but I didn't want it to be a Josh curated blog post of 10 logos that I liked. I wanted it to be pure in the sense that what do you think? And then have an element of professional eye on it. But that to only play a part of it, not to overwhelmingly sway how the actual scoring stuff went.
Yeah, I love the idea too, man. I remember when Josh came to me and a couple other people with the idea, and at first I was like, "Oh my gosh, you're gonna hurt people's feelings." I don't know how this is gonna go over. But honestly, dude, but this is after watching these, it's just beneficial, man. It's educational. I love the content. It's been even if you're saying you guys did a great job of never saying we hate this logo. You're always giving constructive criticism, and it's not, no one has to change anything at the end of the day about their logo. If you love it, you love it. But All it is like all I've seen you guys doing is a great job of like giving creative feedback and thinking everything through start to finish, which has been awesome.
Man, I appreciate it. And that was always the goal,
That was
like edutainment over all else, right?
Exactly.
And that was all me, you know. Josh kind of rode the coattails of whatever I was spewing. So that was it was tough in the beginning, but overall I'm glad that we were there.
Just so glad Trace was able to save my bacon.
I'm just kidding. Oh shoot. Okay.
All right. Oh crud. I have to edit this out of the post version. So I'm trying to go live on Instagram. Give me 1 second. Dustin.
Yes.
Why is this show possible? Can you give us a little bit on that?
I think this show is sponsored by Vive Media, who me and Bright Cole, baby boy Bright Cole, both work for. And Vive Media Co. offers unlimited graphics packages monthly, ranging from $3.97 up to $14.97. I think is our highest package. And unlimited graphics needs, man, whatever it is. Events, screen graphics, social media. Josh and his team of specialist logo designers are now doing logos for Vive, top-notch logos. Vive is sponsoring this, and that's what we're all about, helping churches.
That's it. All right, guys. Yeah, we love Vive, and I'm so glad. I feel like giddy and lucky that I get to wake up and do stuff like this for a living. It's awesome.
Yes.
All right, but moving on into the main event, guys. This is what we all showed up for. So what we're going to do, as I mentioned before, all the voting, all the grading, everything's done. We're just walking through like how did everybody score. So we're going to start from 10 and go all the way up to the winner. You guys ready?
Ready.
So ready.
Number 10, Harvest Bible Chapel. Now, the other thing I wanted to preference is like I went and looked for other supporting materials and other like uses of the logo that I could find. Sometimes you can find like the designer's portfolio or whatever. Couldn't find that with this and a couple others, so you just see the logo here.
Right. And I think one of the things that's I remember obviously when we got to speak about this one, when we got to speak through each of the logos, we always talked about like, wanting to see kind of the further flushed out brand pieces. And then we actually, through this process, we also got to see some other people submitting other things about some other logos that like, hey, this looks a lot like this logo, or this, there's a lot of similarities between some of these. And it makes me kind of remember and think about how designers are inspired and really what it's like the church community is like in terms of like being inspired by each other, which opens up a whole entire can of worms about, is it okay to steal and to use and to be inspired by other churches? And I think ultimately, yes. The one-liner is that, if you steal something, you really need to make sure that it's whenever something is designed like this, a lot of times it's very specific for a specific use. So you can steal something, but really does it make sense for you? And so yes, you can, but it's kind of there is definitely it's a very unique line to walk on, right? But yeah. I still think that the strong like typography in this mark and the like super strong point and like the stripes there are going to be recognizable from afar and to everybody.
Yeah, it's a great execution. And then until Dustin showed me the logo that it looks a lot like, not to put too fine a point on it, and I was like, oof, I don't know.
Yeah,
all right,
yeah,
let's keep
moving. There's like, you can tell something's inspired by something, and then there's like, if you laid this on top of the other one, it would match up exactly. So
there's a little bit of
all the points match up. So yeah, man.
All right, a great
look. I like the colors.
9. The colors are nice for sure. First Free Church by Allan Peters, and this is one that we kind of geeked out over a good bit already, but we hadn't looked at some of the other materials. I went and scrounged up some of this from Dribbble or wherever, and understandably still love it. This sign is backlit. I couldn't fit it on here, but there's like one of these where there's like snow on the sign and it's backlit at night, and it looks just ridiculously cool.
I love the mark. Did you guys find out like any back information on like what the mark means? Like I see that it just says like Christ-centered, Christ-sent, like, but what's that mark or emblem?
Nothing specifically. And that was one of the like things that were kind of like the things that made the judging simple is we're not allowed to have context really. We have to decide what we can guess and figure out. And we're not looking at the whole brand package. So we were not looking at this and judging this. We're just judging like icon or word mark or whatever was available.
Totally. If you took the text away, it'd be a solid icon like on anything.
Yeah. One of the only like critiques that if I'm allowed to critique Allan Peters is it feels a little bit like a hospital in this context.
Because of the sign.
Yeah, and I can't put a word like specifically land on why that is, but I was like, ooh, feels a little
colors,
little commercial in this like this.
That's what I noticed actually from seeing it just in the red icon move to the practical. Sometimes color can be used as like an identifier, but here I feel like actually colors aligning it too much with something like a medical building, where if you want with just like a black or maybe something like white against like a darker black sign, you might.
Hospital, Josh.
I wonder if even that could be like the sign company, not the church itself, but like if the sign company is used to working with professional businesses and not churches.
That's true.
I doubt their intent is like, how do I make this look the coolest it can look? It's like, here's what we're doing for everybody else. So here's the sign boards that we have you can use.
Yeah. It's it's still excellent execution. If you want to hear us gush about it, it's in one of the previous judging episodes.
Love it.
Number 8, City Collective. This is another one where it did really well. And this is like the beauty of the way that this is structured is, ordinarily you're looking at a whole brand package when you're judging this stuff. And so for some of these, that's not available, but the mark itself still made top 10 just because it's like strong and like interesting and well done. That being said, I couldn't find the designer for this. I couldn't find any other like materials that are worth noting for this. So this one just kind of like made it on its own merit here.
Love it, man.
Dustin, how does this make you feel in your soul? Would you wear this on a hat?
Yeah, dude, I totally wear that on a hat, and I see like the symbolism of using 2 C's, making a cross. It reminds me a little bit of Transformation Church, but it's different enough that it can stand on its own, and I wouldn't like hold it up against each other. But it just reminded me of that a little bit. And honestly, like, did you guys mention like this is probably personal preference, but like city and collective, like the spacing in between those words, like I would just bump them a little bit closer together, just because I think that would give me a little bit more longevity. I think that would give it a little bit more time.
Yeah.
Before it gets
I feel like I personally am always going to err on the side of crunching my line height too tight over too loose, like every day of the week.
I like things butted up against each other, and again, that could just be personal preference. But I think style wise, like that was like something we saw like early 2000s.
That's a good note.
Is like spaced out and like the kerning like spread out. That's like another pet peeve of mine. So I like things like I think 2021. It's bringing the letters close together and bringing the words close together.
According to Spotify, the rule for 2021 is like almost illegible type. But that's a whole nother conversation.
Hey, I need to go back. I need to go. I need to go back.
Sorry.
I need to go back. This is important. Dustin, circle or no circle? This was a common thread throughout the whole show. That's why I have to ask. And then
I feel like a year ago I would say circle, but in 2021 I'd say no circle. I just feel like that's where everybody's going. Everyone's taking the circle away.
Okay, cool.
That circle out of here.
You heard it here.
I love it. And I think I saw the designer for this next one actually in the chat here. We got my boy Landon Stokes. He's actually not my boy. I maybe wish he was my boy. Like, we've never had a real human conversation. I like his work. But Gibraltar Ministries, what we judged was bottom right down here, and was able to snag some of the other expanded stuff. I really like these green colors here.
Yeah.
Some of the other presentations of it. Again, there wasn't like a ton of other stuff to pull from, but I mean, I still like what I see. And what I was able to find makes me like this even more.
I'd like to see. I wish we could see a little bit more. I know that's what you kind of mentioned, but I'm just getting more green and kind of getting the photo of someone with an open book. And so it's a lot of the same. And I want to see this kind of played out a little bit more.
So here's another interesting one. I mean, I know we talked about like, I wanted this to be like a pure thing where a small church could win or a big church, and it's not about how they use it. But, and I don't know if the ministry is here with me or not, but I feel like this is a situation where the designer did a good job with the logo, but the brand kind of stumbled a little bit with like continuing to use it well or integrate it into the ongoing stuff. Because like you scroll through their Instagram, and it's like, okay, all this stuff is like totally different, and
it doesn't show up.
Sometimes that's fine, but it's like it just feels like this is a isolated event in their life rather than a living, breathing.
Whoever designed this logo probably isn't designing their social media
absolutely
content.
Totally. And I think that's pretty rare where the logo designer is also like making social graphics, right? But you want to see a little bit more of that, and that's has nothing to do with how good the logo designer is,
going back to what we talked about the previous logo, like Ministries, like I feel like that's a good example of like if you are going to space out letters, it should at the most be that much. Like you get any more than that, and I feel like it's like that's where you're like dating your church like instantly. I feel like if you are going to space out letters, like that looks like, to me, still looks like I can read the word Ministries or not. The letters aren't too far apart. So I like the symbol. I like the colors that are pretty original. I mean, to use green and that like that olive green color, I like that.
Yeah,
it's different. Proxima Nova for the win.
Nice. Gotta love it. All right, number 6, Story Church by Bright Coal. Now that all this is solidified, and I'm not like swaying anyone's decisions. The decisions have been made. I am going to give the pitch here, Trace. I'm going to explain what happened in this process. So, started with the concept of the story, the book and the Sunshine deal. One of the things that we battled on a little bit was, should all these be the same line weight or not? You can see where we landed, and I think it's fine. I like the other one better personally. But I like the pattern here because these kind of could feel like I'm not super in on like Florida, like flora and fauna, but I'm thinking like this feels like some type of like not ficus, but some kind of plant, right? Mm-hmm. And then also you've got these scribbles. So you've got like really structured stuff and then really loose stuff. So you've got their signage in the atrium and stuff like all flows together. And one of the things that came through in some of our early calls was we've got, your story and like your life journey and your time with God, like goes all kinds of crazy places. It's not like a linear straight line. So like, I love that this not only feels different from the other elements, but it also like ties in with like who they are, which is to me always the goal of the brand project. So I have patted myself on the back now. Now it's y'all's turn.
Nice. No, I really liked this one, and when we first saw it, didn't know it was Josh's. I mentioned that I'd like to see it like all the same line weight. This is like kind of the game you play with a client though, and I think that it can still look really nice, and I don't think it takes away too much. We're getting into the territory of it like almost needing to be a little bit more so that it's like really, really clear, because the line difference is different, but like how different. The pattern is like chef's kiss. I think it's really dope. You didn't just take the icon and like tile it different ways, but the book is like still in motion a bunch of different ways and open to different links, and the pages between kind of change. I think there's a lot of movement there. Totally lost me with the scribbles. I don't know how they are really connecting with
that would have deducted points for me here.
Okay. So I think it's a strong number 6 still, and I would actually I would push that.
This has got the right spot at number 6.
Let me tell you, not one step further. Let me tell you, don't even
don't you dare give that a number 5. No, can I be real with you guys? I was like sweating bullets. Like, not, and this even sounds pompous to think like, oh, mine's gonna win. But like when your clients are in the like voting population, like it could happen, right? Yeah. I was terrified that we do this thing like the first one out of the gate, Josh's
Josh
logo
wins.
wins. I was like, oh my God.
Vive
It's rigged.
sponsors
It's
it.
rigged.
Josh wins.
All credibility gone. Yeah, that's it. Exactly. So
I guess if you want the best logo, come to Vive and let me
Exactly.
do
This is
it.
what we were trying to do all along.
Look at here.
How did that work out?
Weird how that worked out.
That's crazy. It's also nuts. Nobody else has access to the Excel spreadsheet where all the numbers are done.
Right.
Yo, you
Right.
did good, Josh. I'm just curious because I don't do too many logos, and even since Josh came on the Vive team, like I've done even less. So, what's I've seen you do this with a few of the logos that kind of come through, but like, so for me, like in my experience, I would just do like the stacked Story Church with the symbol on the side, and then the SC, the S on top of the C with the symbol on the side. Why would you do the third version that's at the very top? Like, what scenarios would you want to use like a long
format?
horizontal wide format? Yeah.
So it's not always for this one, like I started with that one because I wanted the book to be like sitting out open and it to be like maybe a sun horizon feel.
Mm-hmm.
But also like normally you'll use the wide format on a website. But for this one in particular,
but I would even use the stacked. You could get away with the stacked version. Yeah.
What were you gonna say, Trace?
I was mentioning that like if you're constrained by height, the words can be bigger. Mm-hmm. So like if you're constrained by 120 pixels high, then like you have two words trying to fit in 120 pixels, and the other one you have the single story, so like the words can just be a little taller. That's why some people might stick it at the top of a website so you can read it a little differently. But brand style guide could easily tell you that like, hey, you use stacked 90% of the time, and you really only use wide other moments. But like a logo mark that can look good.
All Josh's branding packages, he usually has like, I feel like 4 different ways to use your logo, where I was always used to just doing like, you got your horizontal and you got a vertical version. You just got 2, and then you got the symbol by itself. But yeah, I mean, it looks great either way.
I'm always going to err on the side of more is more, though. Like, I want to give you a bunch of tools in the toolbox, but
how do you
have internal fights on the brand team about that?
Josh, what if you could quickly? How do you pick out colors, man? I feel like you always do a good job of like picking not normal colors that churches pick, and it works.
It's a 3-pronged approach. One is listen to the client, because they a lot of times will like lean towards a direction, or they like have very strong feel, like they almost like picked this lime green color for this one. 2 is my wife. She's got impeccable taste, and like I'll literally show her like half of these, or she'll be looking over my shoulder and like, what if you tried purple there? And I'm like, that's a crazy idea. Let's do it. And then the third one is like I've got palettes and stuff saved in Pinterest, or just like really want to push the envelope and get tired of doing black and white for every church logo,
right?
Even though they ask for it. Nice, the wife card. Quincy, bro, that's an untapped resource. You need to jump in on that. But yeah, there you go.
Awesome.
All right, we spent a lot of time on this one. Let's move on to number 5 by Quincy Harriman. I've covered up his name with the logo up here. I'm sorry about that. Resurrection City Church. This one did really well in all rounds of audience voting. And I think, I don't remember because we looked at a lot of logos, but I think we graded it fairly high as well, Trace. And I like it, like seeing it in some of these other contexts. Like this one had it was nice. We had a full sheet of different things to show. I couldn't include all of those on this slide, but like it's nice.
I think the main feedback I had was about the icon. Like there's some characters. I mean, there's a few elements in this that are clean, but then I kind of started to like break them apart and say like, okay, the shape of the R, could that be used to do similar things that the full icon is doing? That would kind of like give it a little bit more context or give it a little bit more clarity. I also talked about the word mark being like 2 different fonts. Dustin talking about like old trends. That's also like a big one that happened in like the 2010s.
Yeah, one bold,
like,
one thin.
There's like one bold, one thin. And so,
but the fact that they're the same font
Trace disparage you, Quincy.
The same that's
a Trace pet
the same.
Listen.
Same size. Kind of throws me.
I know why. I understand why, because I feel like often there's a lot of times it's like the client might even ask like, oh, we want our name to really stand out. And so the idea is that like you're kind of bringing more attention to that. Also, I'll say with the heavier kind of bold icon, it is smart to go with like a bold kind of main, like a bold font for the main name.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you, Trace.
So
is like,
it's smart.
Is your recommendation then to like drop like church or drop city church and just have resurrection? Because like you can't
often.
I don't know, I feel like it takes
often
more mental
you
energy
can't
to
drop
process
some of
all
that
it.
stuff.
That's what I'm saying. So you're saying
can't.
same weight for everybody.
Well, yeah, I mean, it looks like they're using like a bold or like a semi bold, and then the bottom they're using like a regular or
light.
like
light. If you use light a lot of times, like it won't look good when you drop it on certain
there's
graphics.
Something in between.
Yeah, I would just give it a little bit
that kind of does for both.
Like the word resurrection's so long, like I might have probably just leaned into like I would love to see like a condensed font. Because like you can make it a little bit bigger. Yeah.
Josh says it's called thin.
Yeah.
All right. Let's move on to number 4. Saint by OMSE, I guess is the way to say this. And this is one where I was really excited. I was hoping it was going to make the top 10 because I knew we were going to do this, like look at the whole brand package because we're done grading these, right? Now we're just kind of relishing in and exploring the brands further. And this is one that like delivered the rest of the brand package in spades. And I was so excited when I saw that it like made the cut. So they got their main window icon, which I was kind of on the fence in early like judging. I was like, is it too simple? Maybe, I don't know. Like it's well done. But then like, okay, there's a tie-in with like the physical space, right? But then to see some of their other stuff, and I'll actually pull this up on their website. Their logo is animated in every single instance that you see it, except for places where it has to be static, like Instagram, Facebook, like profile pictures. If you see it in a video, if you see it on their website, it's animated, and there's different elements that like cycle inside of it. Also, this crew did the best job of anyone in this entire deal of carrying the brand throughout everything that they do, like to this day. So you can see it here in their signage, and then like this was a
social
recent
media
one.
graphic or whatever.
Yeah,
that's
this
cool.
they are still like
drop a photo
everybody in here
inside the
and
icon.
It's easy,
cool.
and it's easy for like a regular designer to continue and like take the baton here.
Yeah, so, I think one thing I'll take one step back on is I think as an icon, I think that I don't remember if I gave this a 5 or a 4. If I gave it a 5, I would probably take it back to a 4 as an icon. But then like seeing all of this, because I guess you kind of like get in this box too, where like you're looking at something that is really simple, and you like once you've actually finally gone through and looked at everything, it's a very specific aesthetic that I know is like personal preference to some extent, but completely agree where you just mentioned, Josh, in terms of like this church, at least what we were able to look at and pull from all their other kind of elements and platforms is like it's super clear that they are carrying this mark, the color palette, and like just great design throughout everything.
Yeah. What are your guys' thoughts on like, I mean, why do you think that they didn't make the width of the icon the same width of the letters? Like I would have just thickened it up a little bit to be the same like thickness as like all the letters.
So that's another interesting one. I can't find their like, there's not like a logo lockup that includes the name of the church. It's just this icon or the word like written out in the H1 tag on their website. So like this is like the header from their website. This isn't their logo.
Yeah. Okay.
So like that's a interesting one to contend with. Oh shoot! I just like messed it all up, guys. Sorry. Over here,
it's all good.
Looking happy. All right. I do want to keep moving. This next one.
Good.
So this is crazy, and like I did not plan this. Again, try to let the math be pure here. But we're at number 4 here, and normally you would do like, okay, here's number 3, and then like the winner and the runner up. But we had a tie, like an exact tie for the runner up logo. So what we've got here is a 3-way duel, kind of like in The Office. It's one of these 3 won it. I'm not going to tell you which one, obviously. But it's one of these three that won it. And so what we'll do is we'll look at each one of them and then announce the winner and then talk about the runners up. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
All right,
Love
great.
it.
So Breakthrough Church by Andrew Lennon. He's a great designer, and we already talked about the icon a good bit. Their like launch video is pretty cool. Like showed the bee in a bunch of different environments. I think this is like a custom word mark, so like this would be like the main deal. And then some of this is merch, but this was like the circle seal thing that I got so hyped about, Trace, that I said we're not going to include in judging, but now we can talk about it. Bottom right over
with
here.
break. Okay. Yeah.
So yeah, there you go. This is really strong. I still love it as much as like first time we talked about it.
Yeah, that was my favorite of the top 10. Looking through them today, I just thought it's just original. Haven't seen anything else like it in the church world.
Yeah.
I wonder how long, like, I wonder about the longevity of like that star shape. I mean, obviously it's super cool in 2021 to use that star shape, but like,
Say that, Dustin.
Dude, I know you love your stars, man. I did a whole tutorial on how to make that star in like 5 seconds, but like, I think it looks cool and I think it's super original, which I appreciate.
Yeah. It makes me
curious.
mad.
What's the word mark? Breakthrough Church at the top right.
I think it's top right. I'm not sure. Like I hadn't seen it. So like on their website, you got this.
Kind of where
and
it's
then
like losing me a little bit.
Yeah, it doesn't tie in with the icon.
You want the name. You want the name done, huh?
I want to know. I just want to know what it is. Like I like some of the design aesthetic that we have going on with like the sparrow, and I like the type for Presence Family Mission. I kind of like the seal. The little bee with the circle Breakthrough Church. I just don't know what the full lockup is.
He says,
why
did you lock it up with a thing? Why did you put it in a circle? Stop putting it in circles.
I think that was probably just for like a hat or some piece of merch.
No, I think it's
this is a merch
kind of like a crest.
Yeah. But like on the like the header of the website, this is the logo. Does that make sense?
Gotcha.
Oh, y'all can't see my mouse. It's the bottom, the very bottom right seal is the like logo, top left of the website. Yeah, I love this one. My wife asked me if it was a tire company and does not like it at all. It is like, it might be my judge's choice. Like it might be my favorite one.
Like,
all right. Next mystery nugget.
Yeah.
University Lutheran Church. So Trace, if you remember, you and I looked at this bottom left deal. I love the tie-in with like the actual physical building. It's tough when like I couldn't find like a portfolio piece for this one, but they had some great like video rollouts where like the little leaves here like expand outward. I'm sure there was a story to go with that and other stuff. It was hard for me to get good screenshots of the video. But there is obviously there's like a green shade and like a bluish shade. Like there's more to this than what we're looking at. What are you laughing at?
That chat. Come through, Lutherans.
Come on, Lutherans.
That's great.
Yo, can I just
like?
I'm kind of nervous now. I liked this one at first. I liked this one at first, and then did you guys even realize that it's the same icon as that Free Church, like 4 logos back? The red, the orange, and white.
The first free.
It's the same 6-leaf thing. It's the same.
This is where I don't know if that's like a Lutheran thing that I'm not in on.
Okay,
right?
Is it? Yeah. Am I just missing the connection of like all Lutheran churches have 6 leaves?
One thing I'll tell you is every single Presbyterian church has like a certain shape of like window, and so like I don't know if that's like happenstance or intentional. I think the same thing. And Josh Gilboa is saying yes, and I would trust him. Oh, it's not. Okay.
Yeah, he was saying yes to the thing before.
Josh is saying yes and then no and follow-up comment here. But yeah, so that's I don't know. But it could be things have robes and beer. So that would be his argument. I love that we've stopped the stream to read the comments because they're
it's important. It's important. Listen, I'm gonna say that I think seeing some more of these elements, I like this one more now. I mean, it's like one of the things that I liked that I thought was really strong when we first saw just the bottom left was the typography. It's not easy to mix like unique typography with shape, and even then like different typographies together. And I talked about the relationship between the like the semi-extended and then this very like playful serif. But then we're seeing the icon two different ways. One in like a crest that uses a different font that still works really well. And now we're seeing also the shape being replicated in that window, which is like unique to the space. Now, given I might not be familiar that like that's a traditional kind of shape that's seen often, but there's still a lot of playfulness, like we've already talked about, where the bottom kind of part of the cross is left out that kind of like visually extends the cross down to the bottom of the shape. Mm-hmm. The leaves don't like cut that like they do other places in the logo. And so I just see like a lot of, I feel like I see like a lot. This is what I was actually looking for the last option, where I was like, okay, how does this icon work in the system? Here I'm seeing like a very clear system with like tricky typography, navigating like tricky typography, and like a pretty like unique or like an icon like crest that's kind of has a lot of elements to it.
The only thing about typography on this one real quick is like the top right one. Look at Lutheran Chapel and like how it like doesn't go all the way left and right. It doesn't match up with the left and right of University, but on the bottom left version, Lutheran Chapel goes all the way across and lines up left and right. I liked the top right version. Like I was saying earlier, like I feel like the bottom left one is like 4 years ago, like kern the letters out so that they hit the left and right exactly with the top word. And the top right one, I feel like is more modern just from that one subtle change of like bringing the bottom word in a little bit.
You're ready for a knowledge bomb here?
One is left aligned and one's centered.
Yeah.
I think that's like a big thing too.
We have one of the pastors of the church here in chat, and he broke it down for us. Some of the stuff that I probably couldn't get from the
amazing.
From the little sizzle reel video. He says the icon is both the knob to the window of the building, but also the leaf shape ties in with the city of Ann Arbor, which none of us Ann Arbor natives would know about. And that's perfect. Like, it's not for us. It's for that community, and that's fantastic.
I'm from Ohio. We wouldn't step foot
Mikey's apologizing because he was blasting Michigan 8 times.
Exactly.
Now he's walking it back. I love that.
I wouldn't be caught dead in Ann Arbor just because I'm from Ohio.
I love that. Awesome. Let's go on to the final mystery nugget here. City Light Church. This one is hilarious to me because it shows up in about 1 in 3 project briefs that I look at. So when I've asked somebody to pull inspiration sources, this one is included.
Really?
I can't find the designer for it, nor could I find a ton of like uses for it. And if you guys know who did it, like, please let me know, because I would love to like tell them congratulations, and please come get a job at Vive so I can quit like see the like every time it comes up, I'll just send those projects to them. But I do love like I've seen these pop signs all over the place, and sure, a lot of people can like put their logo in a circle. This logo is a circle though, and that's just kind of real nice. I like that a lot. They also I don't know about this down here, but like, hey, you want to swap it out for an O in some of your stuff? That's fine too. Like, go for it, go crazy. It's strong though. I have the same feelings that I've always had. Dustin, what are your thoughts? I need a fresh take.
I think I like it, man. I think it's a strong icon. I don't like the lettering, but I like the icon for sure. Like, I just don't like thin, spaced out words.
He says, again, get that foolishness
I keep saying it for every.
No.
I just feel like you're gonna date yourself quick. Like, I feel like in 5 years even, you're gonna be like, man, I wish you would have brought those letters a little bit closer together and been able to make City Light a lot bigger.
Is Josh saying that he did it?
No, he didn't do it.
Or okay.
I don't know what he's saying.
He did.
Disregard Josh.
I did.
I'll see the. I'll say real quick that I think similarly. I kind of see the full brand, and it's like, and I'm not seeing much more than the icon, which is not. I mean, it's fine if you like the icon, but I'm not seeing.
It's like
more.
It's like killer icon with shallow brand. Yeah.
there's like the linear elements of the crest that I think could be pulled into the full brand. They kind of use those linear spaces to create shape or to create like a narrative down the side of a or like your kind of lead your eye down the side of the You're Invited card. So I think there's some things that could be expanded upon within the brand that kind of continue to elevate the icon, or and then typography, like you mentioned, Dustin, could help. But I think we said this in the initial review, was like, I understand why this one is liked.
Totally
is popular.
It's great.
I see. This is why I love hearing like other designer opinions, but Trace, I feel like you always see things that I'm not seeing, like in terms of like the next idea. And that's great notes. And I also love having like going through a couple of these logos with Dustin, and like Trace and I slogged through like 40 something of these, and Allie says the animation is very clean though. Allie, do you know anything about this church, or are you a member, or did you design this? Please sound off. We would love to shout you out. But it's funny, like you can see like going through a couple of these logos, like Dustin has some pet peeves with his logos, and I have my own stuff, and Trace has his, like, don't put stuff in a circle, and like, why are you stacking things that, or like, why are you mixing weights? And like, it cracks me up. Like some of these are rules and some of them are preferences, and I rarely know which one it is, but enough.
Quincy, I'm not sure why. Quincy is asking why the merch is like
don't worry about
wild
her.
with the typography.
Or don't worry about her shirt, I should say.
Yeah.
She's a beloved soul, but her shirt.
Okay, Josh, take us there.
And the winner is
the winner.
Storybook.
Right. Drum roll, please.
Drum roll in the comments. Drum roll in the comments.
From the back, number 6, Story Church wins it.
Story Church came out of nowhere and took the lead.
Oh, Allie works there, and she's man, I should have hit you up sooner. All right, so guys, this is it. This is the whole shebang. This is something I've been asking myself for 4 months, 6 months now, however you want to count it, and it poured lots and lots of hours to get to this point. And I didn't pick this winner. I need that to be loud and clear. This is you guys. Y'all picked this.
The people picked it.
The people picked it, and it is University
there it
Lutheran
is.
Chapel. The best church logo in 2021. Big shout out to James Saleska. He crushed it. This is great. If you want to hear about Trace and my like in-depth notes on it, I think that's episode 6 of the judging series. And this is kind of like weird. Like I want like the Price is Right, like somebody to run down to the front and like there's confetti or something, and that's not a reality.
Well, we have Pastor Marcus here. Come on,
we got Pastor Marcus here. Come on down, Pastor Marcus. I wish that I had one of those little like nets with the balloons in it, like above my desk, and I pull it. And
dude, I thought you do like a popper and just confetti. A siren in the back.
I would have loved that.
Well, congrats to you guys.
This is and I think well deserved. This is something I was saying earlier on the talk, or before we like went live and was kind of chatting with you guys, is like regardless of like how you feel about how the process went, I think the math worked. Like all of the top 10 logos were good logos, and all of the like top 3 were like very good logos. Like I could see them being winners. Like it's not like I didn't know what was going to happen when we started this. Like it could have been like some boo-boo logo like snuck through because they got their whole team to vote it up or something like that. Could have happened, but it didn't. So there you go. So our runner-up tie is Breakthrough Church by Andrew and Lennon, and hopefully Allie's going to look it up and tell me who made the City Light logo, because I want to thank them and congratulate them, and also send them a hate mail letter for always showing up in my project briefs. Just kidding. But all of these are fantastic. Real quickly, guys, what are you? So like you can pick one from any of these, like whether it's the top 10 or all 48 or whatever. But like, what if you were like you were deciding by yourself which one is the winner? What are you picking?
Dustin?
Okay, you waiting on me. Okay, I mean, I'm a big.
Do you want me to
Andrew
pull
Lennon
up the
fan.
website?
I can say it right now. I'm a big Andrew Lennon fan, and I didn't even know he made that.
Aren't
but
we all?
I told you guys I liked the B, with the star. I think that's just original. I like it even more because I know Andrew Lennon made it now. But I think, dude, that's just it's a solid logo. It's gonna last the test of time. It came from an artist, and I think that it shows in the creation.
City
of
Light
it.
is in the chat. Sorry.
What up, City Light?
Josh, you see that?
I'm over here commenting.
So yeah,
Dustin,
I like the
that's
beat.
a great. Yeah, that's a great.
It.
I think that's a great pick. It's solid. Felt like it's so strong icon, and why we think it's going to work for a long time. So should definitely go back and look through that. Cool.
All right, what you got?
Wait, what did Trace pick?
Yeah, so I'm going back and forth between a few different ones. I'll tell you that for real, unbiasedly, Josh, I really appreciated the story. Was it
Josh?
I appreciate this, but I need Trace sitting by himself at a card or at a card table at a judging booth.
Yeah,
he's got to write down a name. You got to write down one name as your judge's choice.
What was the other one that I liked? Well, my number one won. So
what was your number one? Oh, your university was your favorite?
Yeah.
Really?
Is that tan Nimbus font, or is that a different font? It's like tan Nimbus. I like it.
Yeah, I just saw just right from the beginning. I mean, it checked a lot of boxes that are like behind the scenes. Again, I'm not going to spin my wheels on it. I've already talked too much about it, but I think it just like checked a lot of boxes that are not easy, like involving a serif and a sans serif. One of them is a little extended. One of them is a little playful. They're stacked. Their scale is a little like it felt, nice with the linear icon. The linear icon felt like it had some heritage, but like it was going to last a while.
Exactly.
They could remix it in like 3 years and make it a fuller crest, like with maybe more detail, or strip it back again to where it's just the leaves and I just feel like there's a lot to it that's going to be able to go really well.
Yeah.
So I'm all about that. Then the other one besides that, because I can't choose Josh, I can't choose the winner, would be St. Church. Just like after seeing especially the full brand width there was really nice.
Perfect. And what about you, Josh? Josh, if you didn't pick Storybook Church, what would you pick, man?
I'd probably pick Saint. I think Saint would be my go-to. And that feels like a softball. Like I don't know if I got like the fanboy factor. Like Breakthrough is maybe like my number 2 of like judge's choice, or it's like they're battling it out, right? But I think like maybe I'm like, ooh, like fancy, like England or United Kingdom agency made it. And
Andrew Lennon's like, I made all 3 of the top 3 logos.
Wow.
No, we've got a mystery nugget for City Lights, and Andrew made Breakthrough, and then James Zaleska is the designer for the winner, and he's in the chat too. Thank you guys for showing up and hanging out. I really like. Another thing I told the guys before is like, I don't know if anybody's going to show up, so like, let's just have a good time, us 3, and like treat it as a closed room here.
Yo, Josh, is this like, are you guys going to do this again, man? Like, I hope you guys do this again, because I
think so. I got to rope in some more help next year. This was like a lot of sweaty hours to like get this show on the road, but there you go. Guys, that concludes Best Church Logo 2021. It has been a blast. Congrats, James. Congrats all of the finalists. And there probably will be a season 2, but right now I'm frankly
what's the winner
equally excited.
What's the winner get?
Oh, the winner will get.
Are you gonna say? Are you gonna say?
I think we should tell.
Should I say? I know what we're gonna do.
I think we should tell everyone.
And past winners get to judge. Says James. That could be
that's a great
fun.
idea.
That's a great idea.
Well, now you ruined it. Oh no, just kidding. Okay, they'll be there. They can definitely help.
Literally, one of the things that I was like dreaming about that couldn't happen this year just because of the shorter runway, and like however there's so many other things to figure out year 1. I wanted to have celebrity guests come in and like, whether they were on for a full episode or just like judging a single logo, like have other designers both in and out of the church space come in and like speak into the process and kind of like offer up notes on a specific logo for like a little 60-second deal. I'm super in on some past winners judging too, though.
Yeah, I love that.
Cool. In terms of the what happens for the winners, so we will be giving you like physical awards or trophies, if you will.
You will get something. You will get something.
Yes.
Do we want to talk about it?
It's just
The thing is, I want to be able to just hold it and right here. I wish I could just like show what it is, but it's not ready.
It's something
So-
you're gonna want to
Custom
put
for you.
in your church trophy display case for sure.
You're gonna get-
next to all the like men's basketball like championships.
You're gonna
Yes.
want to hold that.
That's true.
Next to all the Bible
That's-
quiz, all the Bible
that's gonna
quiz
be-
plaques.
That's going to be at the altar, boys. I don't know what y'all are talking about. That thing is on the podium. That thing is being worn on
Pastor's
Sunday
gonna
morning.
wear it proudly. on
May or
Sunday.
may not be wearable.
Yeah. Pastor's gonna wear it proud.
So, you guys,
Very
we'll
cool.
leave you with that teaser. I will definitely be posting photos of it once it comes in. Yes, you're correct, Josh. It is a $5 Starbucks gift card, wearable,
gosh.
eatable. No, we'll have some hardware for you. It's gonna be real. I do want to do this next year. I just need about like 9 months to recover from this insanity to be ready to do it again.
And we got to wait
Trace.
for more logos.
We gotta wait
Yeah.
for more logos. I mean, theoretically, like James could just submit his again next year, which I don't even think he submitted his own logo, but it is the definition of it last year was who currently has the best logo, not who made the best logo in this calendar year.
Right.
That rule could change next year. I don't know. I don't know. Problems for tomorrow. Boys, love y'all.
Love
Thanks
it.
for your time.
Thanks for having
Trace,
me,
you want
guys.
to close us out with a great one-liner? No pressure.
Holy, why'd you do that?
Changed my
but
life.
Hey, but listen, you are graciously giving me time to say that. Thank you, Josh, for putting this together. Dustin, thank you so much for being here. Thanks, Vive, for setting this up. And seriously, there's incredible designers out there making really great work for the church, and everyone should be super stoked. And so make sure you point everybody to this because we want to get more. We want to get more insight. We also don't just want to kind of sit in an ivory tower and say this is bad, this is good. So give us ideas for how to include more feedback that's helpful. And not just a critique, because I think ultimately we just all want to be transparent and learn from each other. So that's my favorite thing.
And if this
about
was
this whole
helpful, let
project.
us know. Let Josh know this was helpful, because I think from
Personally,
an outsider's
DM
perspective,
Dustin.
watching in, I got some DMs.
Negative
from
feedback
Josh's
only,
critiques.
Yeah, I got some DMs. Dustin got DMs on my
I got
behalf.
some
Trace, did you
DMs,
get
yeah.
any? Did you get any sad people talking to
I'm
you?
not a big deal, so everyone stayed out of mine, and it was beautiful.
But I equally would say
Whatever.
let Josh know if you thought this was helpful and you enjoyed it for sure, because it was a lot of work for sure. So appreciate you guys. Thanks for having me.
Awesome,
Cool.
guys. Thank y'all so much. Until next year.
Peace.